Y'all, I started gagging. I could not even watch this next part. What Sumit'S mom was doing with her nose. I couldn't even watch. I was like, Hey my beautiful peeps, my name is Char and welcome to Char TV. If you're new here, well, I hope you enjoy your stay enough that you decide to subscribe to my channel, and for my existing subscribers, I appreciate you coming on back. Well, on this channel, you're just gonna find recaps of the current episode of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. I'm absolutely obsessed, so I try to give you enough of what happened in the current episode without, rambling on too much. I don't discuss two of the couples, and that's just simply to cut down on time's sake, and I wanted to pick the juiciest couples for you to discuss. I do also have timestamps so you can find your favorite couple if you don't want to sit through the video and see what they're all about for the episode. Without further ado, let's kick it off with episode 10. It's called Stop the Excuses. And I'll be starting with Corey and Evelin. It's been about a week since Corey and Evelin had their therapy session. Evelin had asked Corey to, give her a little bit of space so that she can digest what happened during the session. After not speaking for quite some time, Evelin decided to ask Corey to meet her in town. Wow. And he's hoping that this is a good sign for their relationship.
I've missed you.
I wanted to meet you because I have time to think about everything that was said during the therapy session.
Okay, yeah.
And there's a lot of good things that came out of it.
Yeah.
The best thing probably is just you admitting to what you did and hopefully understanding how bad it was and to not do it again.
Of course, Corey apologizes and realizes that Evelin didn't really deserve that treatment. She does want to trust him again, but of course after what he did, it's gonna take some time. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight. He has to prove himself 10 million times over, and not just, do a whole bunch of this. He has to back up what he says with actions and really prove to her to gain back her trust. Corey mentions to Evelin, well, staying in separate places, it's not really helping the situation.
Well, maybe we can start with maybe you moving to the room next door and we can have some couple movie nights if you like.
That sounds awesome. That sounds amazing.
Okay.
I would love that.
And you pay half the rent.
Obviously.
Corey said that this means so much to him and he's very happy with this. Well, Evelin, she has to get one in there. She said she's gonna make him work hard for her because she's worth it.
I am hard. Please.
Yes.
Oh.
I love you, Kulichov.
I love you too, baby. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out. That's pretty much it for Corey and Evelin. It wasn't too exciting at all. They didn't show too much of them. On to Ellie and Victor. After being in San Andreas for about a week, Ellie and Victor decide to go to Providencia so they can start cleaning up and rebuilding their home and their lives. Of course, they can only stay there a few nights because there's no roof, right? So they can't stay there for a very long time. It's not going to be easy at all, but Victor is very excited. Ellie, on the other hand, is not, because there's no water, no electricity, no phone. So she's feeling quite overwhelmed to be there, but she's doing it so the relationship can survive.
Oh. Gross.
Victor, these clothes are so wet. Should I try to dry them outside?
But we have more important things to do and
well, I'm just gonna
messing around with clothes right now.
Well, okay.
Of course she wanna help because she's part owner of this place. But I would prefer for Ellie just sit down and relax. think she makes it a little bit like too stressful and hard.
Victor does seem a little bit touchy and angry, and Ellie's, you know, having a hard time communicating with him. They're definitely not getting along at all. Ellie feels like she's out of her comfort zone emotionally, financially. She's providing him with all of this support. It's a lot of pressure for her, and she does want to speak her mind, but it's probably not the right time while the man is like drilling and trying to fix things. Poor Ellie is now having second thoughts because she's doing so much for him, and he just treats her and talks to her like crap sometimes. Later on that night, they build a fire, and Ellie decides that now is the time to express to Victor how she's feeling.
I just think sometimes you talk to me really I don't like that.
How do you want me to behave? Like, explain.
I want you to be nice to me, and I know what it's like when you are nice to me, and I know what it's like when you're not nice to me.
I'm not treating you anywhere worse or something.
I'm telling you that that's what you're doing, and you're not listening to how it's making me feel.
He explains to her that, you know, she needs to be more understanding. He just went through a traumatic experience. Like, he lost every single thing. Like, he almost lost his life, for crying out loud. Like, what he's going through is not very easy at all. And at the same time, he also realized that what she's going through is not the easiest. She gave up everything to be with him, to support him.
I feel like we just both need to be more aware of how the other person's feeling.
Sure.
It's important, you know?
Yeah. We're not working very well together right now. We don't cooperate, I guess it's never gonna work. Well, let's see what happens.
That's all with Ellie and Victor. Nothing too exciting at all. Well, I'm curious to see how things are gonna pan out, if they're gonna still squabble with one another, or are they gonna work together to rebuild. On to Ari and Bini. It's time for little Avi's surgery, and poor Ari is nervous. Of course, as any mother would be. She wishes that Bini was actually there with her, even though things haven't been the greatest between them. She just wants her family together. She doesn't want to fight over stupid things anymore, and she hopes that Bini realizes this too.
Just had surgery, and he's already it looks like all better.
And how's Mom?
Mom is fine. She didn't freak out. She handled it well. Now that the surgery is done, I'm so relieved. When I was dealing with medical issues for Avi in Ethiopia, it was very stressful for me. So I'm really glad that I came to the US. There are no cultural barriers and no language barriers, and I have my support network here.
Her and her mom made a deal that any medical procedures that are to be done with any of them are to be done in the US. And there's no negotiations. Ari's sister feels that she really needs to stay in the US because medical treatment is really close to home. And Ari does mention, well, you know, it's not that easy because they've worked so hard to build a life in Ethiopia. But Ari's mom now, she don't feel that her and Bini are building the same lives. Bini is more interested in partying, being with his friends, whereas Ari is, you know, more interested in her family. So it's like they're not trying to build the same life.
But it seems to me like you're more serious about where you're going with your life, what direction and vision you have for your family.
He's not going in the same direction that you're going in because he has other forces that bring him in different directions.
A lot of Bini's friends are very nice people, but he has several friends that are just poison.
Now things get a little bit spicy because Ari found out that Bini has built some sort of like mini studio in the home, and he has friends coming and going and partying and drinking. All kinds of shenanigans are going on in there. It's basically turned into a party house, and this is why Ari's mom feels that if he were to move to the US, he'll be away from those bad influences and can focus more on his family. And Ari actually agrees and feels like they should actually move to Kenya to reset their relationship. And Kenya is actually where they met, fell in love, and conceived Avi. Now, if Bini's behavior continues this way, she's not going back. Ooh.
It's been 2 months since I came to the US for Avi's surgery, and since then, things have really deteriorated between Bini and I. Over the past few weeks, I've gotten a bunch of text messages from friends and Bini's family members saying that they've seen him having parties at our house. And then, because Bini's photos are being synced to my iCloud, I'm seeing all kinds of people, even faces I've never seen before, in and out of my house.
And she feels that a family's home, you know, is sacred. You can't just let any and anybody up into your home. She feels that he doesn't care about how she's doing and hasn't even bothered to find out how Avi's doing, especially after he's had surgery. Can you believe that Bini even packed away the baby's bed? He packed that baby's bed away. That really upset Ari because she doesn't think that he even wants to think about their son anymore. Of course, him with his excuses says, well, you know, I've been busy with my music. Oh, it's late. He's always full of excuses. I don't know. Do you guys feel that he's cheating? Or do you just feel, you know, he's by himself and he just doesn't want to feel alone, so he's spending time with friends? What do you guys feel? Comment down below and let me know. Oh boy, here we go with the cup. Ari decides to break some news to him. She says,
No, it's just I've thought about it a lot, and I've decided I'm not coming back to Ethiopia.
What?
I'm not coming back to Ethiopia.
Why you did it to me, Victor? Oh, before when you promised me, just you want to come back.
After everything you have done, I will never go back to Ethiopia.
but you know, we knew that was coming. I had a feeling that was coming, especially, you know, the way Bini's acting. I felt it. I felt it. He feels that her listening to other people instead of asking him, in his culture, it's disrespectful. And that really annoyed her because she's like, why do you always bring your culture into everything as an excuse? You know who actually ratted him out?
Wish is the one who told me that you had other women in my house and that you've been around with other girls. Wish is the one who told me that, and so did your friends. So you think you're being sneaky? You think you're being sneaky? Everyone sees you. Everyone sees your behavior. Everyone knows about you.
No, you're wrong.
Okay. You know, for the health and safety of your family, you should consider getting tested.
The reason she said that is because she saw on his messenger that some woman had messaged him and said, oh, do you remember me? I'm the woman from the other night at the club. So I guess she's assuming that they did the hanky-panky, so he might want to get tested because he's obviously hiding something from her. Or he's putting her foot down and said, listen, if you want to try and be a family, I'm going to give you a chance. If you want to try and be a family, we need to move to Kenya and start over. If not, then we can talk about co-parenting and figure out some custody. She said those are your options. Even though, you know, he's hurt her, she's still willing to work with him because right now he's surrounded by evil and he needs to get away from that. Plus she doesn't want him to lose Avi. Well, Bini says, listen, you're being bossy and I don't like that. Ari told him,
shut up and listen. You have spent the last 2 months destroying your family. You don't get a say anymore. You have sacrificed nothing. You have God knows who you and God knows what you've been doing, and I don't even care and I don't even want to know. This is a chance for you to redeem yourself. This is your last chance. So wake up. I'm done with him.
I was like, damn, that was crazy. How do you guys feel? Do you feel that Ari's just being annoying and bossy and controlling? Or do you feel that she has a right to act the way that she's acting? Comment down below and let me know. The couple that you've been waiting for, Jenny and Sumit, my favorite couple. Poor Jenny. she's come down with some runny belly and vomiting. So the poor woman is not feeling well at all. Listen, Sumit'S mom probably put something in her food. Probably served her up something in her dish. That's why she ain't feeling well.
ये रिस्पेक्ट है, हम लोग आए हैं, तुम सो रहे हो आराम से।
तो वही रीजन है कि उसको लग रहा है कि वो नहीं सो पाई रात को।
लेट ही सोए हम लोग भी, ना उल्टी करने की आवाज आती है वो भी नहीं थी। एक बार लूज मोशन होने से जेनी की हालत खराब हो गई। हम लोगों को अगर 3, 4, 5 भी हो जाता है ना तब भी हम ठीक रहते हैं, कुछ नहीं, सारा काम संभालते हैं अपना।
Well, you know what? Everybody is different. Just because you're built like that, it doesn't mean that Jenny's built like that. You know? She feels that she came there specifically to teach Jenny how to be, you know, an Indian wife. So Jenny should be ready to go, regardless of how she's feeling. She feels that Jenny should be following a traditional morning routine, and she needs to wake up, regardless of how she's feeling. She needs to wake up. Morning routine such as taking a bath first, praying, and then preparing breakfast. And it doesn't look good if you don't do those things.
I woke up and I had to go in the bathroom and started having loose motion all night long, and then all of a sudden I started throwing up too. So
हम तो इतना कुछ सिखाने आए थे, योगा सिखाना था, बहुत काम करवाना था, और आप
She's saying we came here to teach you a lot of stuff.
सब कुछ सिखाना है, आप सो रहे हो बड़े आराम से, लग तो नहीं रहा बीमार हो।
Jenny was so insulted by this because here she is sick, hasn't had much sleep, and you want me to get up and start learning things and I'm not feeling well? Jenny personally wouldn't do this to someone else if they weren't feeling well. Well, I guess that's the difference between you and her now. Now, Jenny, I like you and all, you're my girl, but those feet had no business in your bed. Those feet were black as hell. You needed to wash your feet, man, before crawling into your bed. Those feet, that's nasty. That's nasty, Jenny. Sumit'S mom feels that Jenny is just being dramatic.
सब नाटक।
मैं ऐसा ही है कि जैसे मर्जी मान लो कि या तो वो नाटक कर रही है या फिर आपकी रिस्पेक्ट करके खड़ी भी हो गई है, वो उसको सिखाना, ठीक है?
छोड़ने वाली तो नहीं, तो उसको सिखा के ही जाऊंगी। आई हूँ तो बिल्कुल ठीक है, कहा चलो उठो कुछ करो, जिस काम के लिए मैं आई हूँ उसे करके ही जाऊंगी।
Jenny has her bath, gets dressed, and she's actually feeling better. Sumit says, you know, my parents are waiting for you because they want to do some yoga. So they want her to join her doing yoga. Poor Jenny, she's like, I don't do yoga. I don't do a lot of stretching. She does stretching in other ways. But she doesn't feel that she can do it. And she also feels that it's just another test that they're putting her through just so she can fail.
हाथ उठाएंगे टखने पर, बायां हाथ उठाएंगे बाएं पैर के टक, पीठ के बल आ जाएंगे। दोनों पैर मोड़ लें, खूब धीरे धीरे वापस आएंगे।
While doing the yoga, Jenny is actually quite impressed at the parents, you know, because they're doing the poses, they know all the names, and they're doing a pretty good job. But to be fair, Sumit'S mom actually used to teach yoga, so of course she's gonna be a lot more flexible and know everything more than Jenny does. She feels that Jenny is rusty and feels like, you know, they're around the same age, so if she can do it, Jenny should be able to do it too. So Sumit'S mom decides to put mustard oil down her nose. Now listen, if you got a weak stomach, I suggest that you skip on past this part because y'all, I started gagging. I could not even watch this next part. What Sumit'S mom was doing with her nose. I couldn't even watch. I was like, I could not. It was too much. Now the mustard oil is to remove dust particles from the inside, okay? But she also puts neti, I think it's called, through her nose. And you know what? I'll just show you. As I said, if you got a weak stomach, exit.
Put this neti in her nostril and take it out from her throat. Nikal liya?
How do you keep from throwing up?
Yes.
That would make me throw up.
Oh, easy, easy.
For those of you that stuck around, how did you feel about that? Were you gagging too like me, or am I just being extra? No, that was nasty, for real. Like, I understand they have their things that they do and what have you, but that was too much. Jenny found it too much too, because Sumit'S mom's like, hey, it's your turn now. Jenny's like, hell no, I ain't doing that. No. And she actually stood her ground. I was impressed. I'm like, wow, Jenny actually has some balls to say no instead of letting them walk all over her. She stood her ground.
अरे no, फिर जवान कैसे हो गए?
How will you become younger?
I'll just use facial creams.
हाँ.
Next time.
नहीं अभी.
No.
अभी.
No.
Good for you, Jenny. You're my girl. Because you know what? I would have done the same. I would have been like, no, I ain't doing it. I am not. That's everything to episode 10. I enjoyed this episode. The highlight for me, I found, was Ari and Bini. When she told him to shut the up, wow. And Jenny and Sumit, that whole thing. Listen. But let me know your thoughts on the episode, if you relied on little old me to give you the juice, or if you watched it on your own. I hope that next week will be entertaining as well. If you enjoyed this recap, give me a thumbs up and definitely put your comments down below. I love to see your comments. Some of them made me chuckle, I swear. But I love to see it. If you haven't subscribed, well, I don't know what you're waiting for. You better hit that red button now. It's free. And hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any more of my recaps. Thank you for watching, my beautiful peeps. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!